Well, yes. Welcome to my channel. My name is Liza. And today I'm going to be taking you guys through my February wrap-up. Now, let me tell you guys about my February wrap-up. Let me tell you about her, okay? We read this month, okay? I'm going to take that bitch to college. I'm going to give that bitch some knowledge. I'm going to read, I'm going to read, I'm going to read. That was what I was doing, okay? Shout out to the Azealia Banks fan. People who know that song, okay? So I read, I think, so physically, as in my handbook, I read like 2 or 3. The rest were all on audiobooks, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, the audiobooks was given for me this month. So I got a Libby subscription, and I've been using that to my advantage, and I feel like that is supposed to help me alleviate some of the money I spend on books, but now it's just up the price, because when I listen to a good audiobook, I go and find the physical copy, okay? I also signed up to BookBee as well. Shout out to, oh, I forgot how to say it, I think it's Nicole or Nicola. Shout out to her on TikTok and even on Instagram. She was the one that put me onto BookBeat, and it has some really good translated fiction on there, and you get 50 hours, which is a lot better, because I used it on my Spotify hours, and I am not gonna pay it. No, I wasn't planning on giving them any extra money, girl. You already take £10 a month from me. I'm still a student technically. I should still be on the student deal. I've got work later on today, so I decided to film before I go to work. You know, gotta get that money, gotta get that dough, gotta put everything to work. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, okay? Subscribe to my Patreon if you can. No pressure if you cannot. Period per. Let's get into it. Now, first book I read was Deepen It by Adele Oliver. This was a short non-fiction book, about 120 pages, following it essentially deals with the criminalization of drill music artists and the wider connection to colonialism and anti-blackness in the UK. I learned a lot from this because I also had a certain perception of drill music that I wasn't as like thingy about, do you know what I mean? Because I just kind of felt like, you guys are rapping about killing people. Like, it's giving serial killer, mate. Like, if a serial killer made a song, I think it would be all uncomfortable. So I don't know, it did make me address a lot of my anti-blackness and also the system of like the institutional issues in the UK and how that affects artists also, because a lot of the drill artists are black and a lot of the grime artists are black, and also, you know, these companies and these music groups are actually taking advantage of them. I've heard on Instagram and Twitter from basically drill artists getting paid in the devil's lettuce. That's insane. The deals or the contracts, absolutely insane. Basically very exploitative. And some of these drill artists, even when they go on tour and make music, they're still out on the streets, like doing their thing, because the music is supposed to set them free. Why isn't that not? And I understand they're rapping from their lived experience, but no art is pure. I don't think that any art form has its like good and bad, but I do have my feelings about drill music and about young people listening to it, and about parents that allow their children to listen to drill music without any proper like insight. And I think I understand that it's the artist's right to talk about their lived experience, and it's also their right to express your art in any way you want to. I personally don't believe drill incites violence. I think violence and like just gang issues have always been a thing in London, regardless of whether it's connected to music. So I just feel very differently, but the feelings are complicated. But I did learn a lot from this, and I do think that institutions should be working harder to protect young people from gang grooming and getting involved in this lifestyle. But yeah, this was a very solid book. I think the author's also a musician, so this is a very fun read as well. I gave it a 5 out of 5 because it was just excellent. Next is Mr. Loverman by Bernardine Evaristo. I'm not going to rate this yet. Actually, no, I'm going to rate it and talk about it because I love this book so much. I decided to use it to set up my virtual book club. Mr. Loverman by Bernardine Evaristo is a brilliant body of work. His story follows an Antiguan man who left Antigua and moved to the UK with his wife, but has been in an affair with his best friend for years. And it goes Barrington Jedediah Walker, Barry to his friends, trouble to his wife. Antiguan born and bred, Barry is known for his dapper taste and fondness for retro suits. He's a husband, a father and a grandfather, and for the past 60 years he has been in a secret relationship with his childhood friend and soulmate Morris. Wife knows Barry has been cheating on her, but little does she know what is going on. And it's basically about him coming to terms with his sexuality and also understanding the ripple effect that that has on his family and what that does to the women in proximity to him. I'm going to stop it there, guys, but this is a brilliant read. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It was just phenomenal. From the moment I listened to it halfway through the book, I got like 3 copies of this book. I gave one to my friend, I gave another one to my friend, and I kept one for myself. I got it from World of Books because I don't think I really like this cover, and there was a period of time they were selling it in Waterstones, but then there was a period of time where they stopped. It's also a very short, interesting read. It's about 290 pages max. I listened to it on Libby and I finished it within like 2 to 3 days or 4 days. It was just so good. Like, I was gripped. Yeah, okay, period. But if you'd like to enjoy Mr. Loverman like I did, make sure you sign up to my Patreon and join our monthly book club, okay? We are only doing diverse reads over here. Thank you. Next is Lightseekers by Femi Kayode. This was recommended to me. Well, it wasn't recommended to me, but I had a copy of this book for like 2 years. I just never picked it up. And my mutual and lovely friend, Jean-Paul, I'm going to post his socials up here, read this book and he really enjoyed it. So I decided to read it. It's not, okay. If you were to ask me about Nigerian thrillers that you'd love to try, in accordance with like My Sister the Serial Killer, I would recommend this because it was fast paced throughout the book. It did retain my attention. Like, I was like, okay, so what's going on? Like, I want to know what's going on. So the story follows a criminal psychologist. He moved from America to Nigeria, and he was brought on as some type of like private investigator to investigate the death of 3 students who were killed in a mob attack. I absolutely enjoyed reading this. It was definitely fun. The character did irritate me at certain points because he was moaning. Like, why? If we're 2 pages in, why are you moaning already? But yeah, he is. I have a love-hate relationship with him, man. But there was a lot I learned in this book, from Nigerian policing to the experiences of queer people in Nigeria. It touches on a lot. It doesn't deal with it in depth enough where you feel like they didn't do it well, but it touches on it enough to give the story complexity. But yeah, I rated this a 3.75. I'm trying to be a bit more stringent with my ratings. If a book is meh, like, I finished it feeling, okay, this was fun, so I gave it a 3.75. I felt like that was even being generous, to be honest, just giving it a 3. I also love that it didn't have chapter numbers, but it had chapter titles. Like, I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I read this, I think, earlier in the month, so this was. Next is Outdrawn by Deanna Gray. This was my in real life book club read, and my babies enjoyed this, but they're not romance girlies, so I'm gonna make sure there's no more romance. Okay. Yeah, they were telling me I'm not really into romance, and then I remember I went around in a circle and I asked each of them, so what would you rate the book? They were like, one was like 0. I said 0. But I was like, so what did you like about it? And she gave me 2 things she liked about it. And I was like, okay, but don't you think she deserves at least a 1? She said no. It was fun. I love my book club girlies. If you're in Birmingham, UK, and you would like to come to a book club, make sure you come through. Story follows Sage Montgomery and Noah Blue, and they are basically rivals in the kind of drawing world, drawing community. Personally, I don't think they're rivals. Like, okay. I love support. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to the synopsis. And it's just basically them building up when that, like, I hate this bitch turns into, oh, I love this bitch. Like, she's kind of cute. And it basically follows their romantic story and also the things going on in their backgrounds and their family. I gave this a 3 out of 5. I did enjoy it, but I do feel like there were bits where the author could have tightened it a little bit more. I felt like the rival wasn't really rivaling. You know, it felt like more maybe, not but it can't be second chance romance, because I feel like what they've been through is not enough for it to be a second chance. So maybe Rivals was where she felt like it would fit best. It was so interesting for me because I did feel like there were certain bits I read where I was like, I don't know, but the tension is not tensioning enough. Like, this, like, the passion that can come from the characters and the attraction to them, it just wasn't building up. But I think this was meant to be light and fluffy. I don't think it's meant to be like intense, you know, passionate romance. But I did enjoy it. I did find it very cute. The smut was Let's get the bill per. Well, yes. The smut was smutting. It was definitely very cute. It was nice. It did read like YA in certain bits, and then it just went into the explicit side in another bit. I think it does have that balance between adult, and it has that like fluffiness of YA, which I did like. I could have read this on my Kindle, but I'm happy I got a physical copy, because like you get little doodles in the book of the characters, and also Noah is like 6'1". That's insane. But I'm a 5'11", babe, so I don't even know why I'm running my mouth. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I gave this a 3 out of 5. I do think there were things that could have been done better with the plot and with how they fell in love. But other than that, I still enjoy it. The author is indie, and I am interested in reading their other books, just not right now. Well, yes. Next is My Other Husband by Dorothy Comson. I actually listened to this on audio. I already had a physical copy of this, so I was like, let me listen to an audiobook. I probably shouldn't have done that because I wasted my hours, but guys, it was riveting. It was good. It felt like I was watching a BBC limited series. And you guys know, anyone who follows me on socials know I love a crime show. I love a ITV crime. Okay? I love a thriller. I love a criminal. So I was okay, I don't know why she's blurry. What's going on? Okay, period. Well, yes. So it goes, someone's trying to frame me for murder, but I can't prove I'm innocent because then I would have to confess about my other husband. Let me tell you something. One thing about Auntie, I'm not going to call her Auntie because, you know, she don't know me like that and I don't want to be disrespectful. But one thing about Dorothy Comson, okay, she gonna give us a reveal. She will give us a thriller. She will give us a show. She will give us, you know, flashbacks. She will give us dates, times. Her method of doing her thriller writing is so good, and I absolutely enjoy it. I don't know why my camera's light all of a sudden. She needs to calm down. Okay, taking away my melanin. But yeah, no, I absolutely enjoyed this. Some bits were predictable. As I was reading, I was like, ooh, who could it be? But as somebody who watches, I don't read thriller that much, but I watch a lot of thriller shows, so I feel like there's nothing they can do. They can't really pull the wool over my eyes, and I'll still enjoy it. Like, the only show that's ever really left me gagged in terms of a crime show that I felt like was unpredictable was Criminal Minds and Law and Order SVU. Girl, I'll be watching Law and Order, I'll be like, no, it's this person. And then the twist comes, I'm like, hey, this one is African magic. But anyway, this was really, really good. I rated this a 4 out of 5. I absolutely enjoyed this. I felt like it dived into a lot, like, and it also delved into like the Black British experience and TV and working in TV. I feel like maybe my assumption, this is my personal conspiracy theory, I feel like Dorothy is using this, those like discussions that she sprinkled in to talk about what it means to be a Black woman working in TV, and like how it's kind of hard to get your work if you're maybe an author into TV. But I absolutely love this. Like, Dorothy, yeah, she ate. Period. Now the rest is on audiobook, so let me just get my Storygraph so I can remember. Also follow me on Storygraph, guys. I'll be like updating and putting all my stuff in there, so make sure you come through. Now let's get into it. So I listened to a short retelling of I Know Why the Caged Bird Sing by Maya Angelou on Libby. It was about an hour. It was just a good palette cleanser after listening to My Other Husband, and it was nice to listen to while I washed the plates and did my chores. I absolutely enjoyed this. I realized I actually have 2 copies of this book, so it's going to be my April TBR, definitely. I absolutely enjoyed reading this. Oh my god, it was so good. I can't really remember much of the story. But it did make me want to get the book. So hold on, let me hold on. Okay, description. Abandoned by their parents, Maya and her older brother Bailey are sent to live with their grandmother and uncle in a small town of Stamps in Arkansas. Struggling with rejection they endured and the prejudice of their white neighbors, and suffer several racist incidents. So this is a Maya Angelou's debut memoir. It's a memoir. Okay, I'm gooped, because how is that a memoir? That is insane. And it follows a lot. It touches on sexual abuse, like lack of a parental figure, abandonment, neglect. Like, there's a lot that comes in this. I absolutely enjoyed this. Because it was 1 hour, I didn't really give it a review or rate it, because I felt like it's not enough for me to give that a rating. But the little snippet I listened to in terms of the summary of the book, Oh, it was brilliant. And I think she also narrated certain bits as well. I think it was done through BBC Radio 4 sounds. It was definitely like, it was an enjoyable read, I'll tell you that. The next one I listened to was a short story fiction thriller by Onyeka Braithwaite, and it's called The Baby Is Mine. This was no, it was a no from me. Like, I enjoyed My Sister the Serial Killer, but this was just, I the fact that I even finished it all the way through, girl, I was like, no, this was just, it just was not giving what it was supposed to give. I was not happy at all. Story follows a guy who was cheating on his girlfriend, and he gets kicked out, and it was during COVID and the pandemic. So he moves into one of his like old family homes, and his auntie is there, and there's another girl who's there who's also his friend, and her husband died, and they're arguing basically who owns the baby, whose baby is it, and there's a bunch of creepy stuff happening. The ending just wasn't satisfactory for me, to be honest. I kind of skipped certain bits. I was just like, I was listening to this like, girl, every time I was washing my plates, I would just dry my hands to skip a bit, because I just, yeah, I gave this a 2, I think 0.25. Yeah, I gave this a 2.25. It just wasn't good for me. Next one on the list I read an audiobook was Miss Kim Knows and Other Stories by Cho Namju. Miss Cho Namju, yeah, eat it up. Eat it up, Miss Cho Namju. She ate and left. Okay, guys, I feel like I'm very light skinned here for some reason. Here we go. I think this is much better. Miss Cho Namju, she ate, she gathered, she gooped, she gagged, like everything. Houston boots the house down, I'm deceased. Yeah, that was solid body of work. I gave that a 4.5 stars. I'm trying to be, you guys know, I'm trying to hold up on giving out everybody a 5-star. But I really enjoyed this. It's a short story anthology that follows different Korean women's experiences of misogyny and sexism. She's also wrote Born 1982 Kim Ji-young. I read that as well, gave that a 5-star. No, actually I don't think I gave that for a 5-star. I think I gave it a 4 or something. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed this. I listened to it on BookBeat, and I'm really excited to read Saha as well. I tried to listen to Saha, but I DNF'd it because I didn't really like the narrator, so I said I have to read this physically. But I absolutely enjoyed Miss Kim and Other Stories. There was a short story in particular about a girl writing a letter to I think the guy proposed to her and she said no, and it's basically her narrating like why. Just the dialogue, man, like the dialogue was dialoguing. Like, I really enjoyed it. It just felt good listening to it. It was so serious for me that I listened to it on the way home. Usually I only listen to audiobooks when I'm doing chores or when I wake up in the morning after reading sections of my physical book. But this one, I was listening to it on the bus. I was listening to it on the way home. I was listening to it on campus. Like, while I was walking to campus to the uni library, I was listening to it. I was like, okay, this audiobook, yeah, add more. But yeah, no, it was really good. I absolutely enjoyed it. I'll definitely recommend it if you enjoyed Kim Ji-young 1982, and if you didn't and you want to try her other works, I'll definitely say Miss Kim and Other Stories. My favorite one is about the women who went on holiday together. Oh guys, this book, like, she hit close to home for me. Absolutely enjoyed it. This is Intimacies by Katie Kitamura. This one, I rated it 2 stars. I understood, so the story follows a interpreter who works for the Hague court. I don't know where she lived, but her life where she worked in the Hague courts. I understood what the author was trying to do. That very narrative, like short, like insight into like a character's life, like magnifying it, bringing it up. I understood what she was trying to do, but guys, I didn't enjoy it. It just wasn't for me. There were certain bits that I just did not enjoy, and I kind of felt like, I don't know how to explain it, but it wasn't for me. And like, even the guy she was with, like, why, sorry, I'm now my energy's down because my battery's low, should have charged my stuff. But like, I was just like, why are you with this guy if you know you don't like him? Not that she just irritated me, and the things she did and the character. I mean, I'm looking forward to checking out her other books, if there are any other ones. If you guys have read this, comment below, and maybe I might read the physical copy and enjoy it more. But the narrator did a brilliant job. The narrator narrated. Intimacies, I feel like I would enjoy as a movie, but for some reason I didn't enjoy it as a book. I feel like that's key here. Last but not least is Rootless by Crystal Zara Appiah. This book is going to be my March book club read in real life in Birmingham. And guys, whew, this book story follows two characters, Effie and Sam. They're high school sweethearts and they fall in love and plan a family together. That's the summary I'm going to give you guys, okay? Because this book is drama, okay? It is Nollywood, it is Gollywood, it is just everything in one. It is insanity, this book. I absolutely enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. The writer, phenomenal. Like, this Rootless, actually no, let me not lie, I gave it 3 stars. Let me not lie. I want to give it 5 stars, but because of the ending, I gave it 3. Because the ending pissed me off. It made me angry, but I'm reading it again. I listened to an audio. I'm going to read the physical copy and most likely I would give it 5 stars. But right now, she just has to sit there at 3 because she made me angry. This is my wrap up, guys. I'm trying to speed it up because of my battery's low. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. How would you feel about the books I read this month? Do you think it's a bit of you? Do you feel like there's any you've enjoyed? Is there any ratings I gave that you did not like? Comment, tell me below. And the community is growing and growing, and thank you guys so much for your support. Period. Check out my Patreon, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, and let's get into it. Let's build this community. I'm also gonna have vlogs and videos on other topics outside of books coming as well. Let me know your thoughts, including TV and film. So it's gonna get fun around here. Do you know what I mean?